With you, we're live now.
All right, great, great. Thanks, Demi. Hi, Fatima.
So just let me know when we can get going and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, of course. Great, great, great. So, Fatima, we usually have this culture around how we do our webinars and branding with the image. So we need to induct you into the the webinar
Absolutely, yes.
background mode. So I'm going to
Yes.
send you, do you have access to your WhatsApp? So I'm going to send you this, my background image.
Okay, sure.
So you could probably just throw it into the background. It helps
Sure,
to
sure. It might be a
really
bit faster to send it via email as I don't have my phone
email.
besides
Okay,
me.
that
Yeah,
works. You'll get it shortly via email.
perfect.
Yeah. Hi guys, you're welcome. Let me also check out our guys on YouTube just to make sure everybody's in.
And while we're waiting for everybody to settle in, I've shared a link in the chat with regards to the course that we'll be going through today. So it'd be helpful if you could sign up for it in the meantime. That way, any questions that you might have will probably already be answered and you can already experience the environment that we will be leveraging today. So the course should be in the chat link. And if anyone from the 3MTT team can share that with the folks on YouTube or in other communication channels that you have, that would be great.
Right. Fatima, so I just sent it to your mails.
Okay,
Confirm.
sure. Just give me 1 second. It is yet to show.
All right. No, that's totally fine. So we just the viewers on YouTube. So I guess we'll begin in 4 minutes. So that'll be 10
Perfect.
minutes. That'll be 10 minutes past the hour. So
Okay.
I guess that should be, yeah, that should give a lot of time for all the guys to join in. For those online already, so you're welcome. This is the onboarding session for NVIDIA, particularly for those in data science track. And then, of course, we know that those in the other tracks like AIML would also find the courses that are going to be introduced to us very, very beneficial. So just stay tuned. A couple of thoughts. You could drop your chat. If you have comments, you could also drop comments as to where you're connecting, drop comments as to what cohort you're part of. And if you're not in 3MTT, it's also nice to also drop comments as to how you got to know about this webinar. So it's great to know those and where we're connecting from. So we can holler at you at the end of the webinar. And then if you have questions, comments, you can also drop it on chat. We would do well to pass it across to our facilitator. So just 3 minutes more for all the guys to join in on the call, and then we'll go live. Thank you once again for joining in. Thanks, Fatima. Thanks a lot for this time. Yeah.
Awesome. And Theophilus, could you please share the link for the live stream just in case, so I can add comments there as well and any resources?
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Demi, can you drop the YouTube link on the chat? It'd be great to do that.
Sure thing. I'm gonna drop that now.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're at the hour. So thanks again, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, Fatima, for making our time to facilitate this session. So you're welcome. This is 3MTT, this in partnership with NVIDIA, bringing to you an onboarding session for the data science course, an introduction into the Deep Learning Institute platform for us to gain hands-on first-hand information around the new data, the knowledge around data science and how those of us in the cohorts, those in cohort 2, those in cohort 1, and even those within the learning community or who are those are part of the African ecosystem or the Nigerian ecosystem in tech, and you're interested in data science, this is one session that we believe it's going to be very, very impactful just to learn how to navigate this rich resource platform for those within either data science track or the AIML track, or those who are just tech enthusiasts and just want to check out what's the new trend going on within the data science space. It'd be great for us to learn and know what's going on. And NVIDIA is the big name when it has to do with these technologies, and so it'd be great for us. So we thought it wise to say, hey, let's have this onboarding session so that anybody having challenge with the network or having challenge getting onboarded in the platform would easily find the tools necessary or find the knowledge necessary to navigate the platform going forward. So I'm going to hand it over to Fatima now to take us further. Fatima, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Theophilus, and thank you for the 3MTT team for organizing today's call. For the first part of the call, we'll just give you a quick overview of what the AI Africa ecosystem look like. We'll share some of NVIDIA's resources, and then the objective of the call is to assist everybody to go through the course today. And the course is focused on accelerated end-to-end data science with zero change. As we start, I've shared the link to the course in the chat. It'd be super helpful if everybody can try and sign up to it while we go through an overview of why the course is important and why artificial intelligence as well is important. We want it to be as interactive as possible, so feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and we'll take it from there. So first of all, as I mentioned, my name is Fatima, and I am a lead for our programs in Africa, the Middle East, and Turkey. So as I mentioned before briefly, we'll go through an overview of what NVIDIA is, some of the regional activities that we do, and then we'll zoom in on our Deep Learning Institute today. We also have a program called Inception, which is more relevant for startups. But as today we're focusing on onboarding, data scientists will focus on that. And then we'll talk about some success stories around folks who've used the Deep Learning Institute and how they have been able to benefit from it. So feel free to drop in the chat or the YouTube channel what comes to your mind when you think of NVIDIA. And Theophilus, it would be great for you to share some of those insights as we go along. So yeah, what comes to your mind when you think of NVIDIA? We'll just give everybody a few seconds to share some of their comments and their feedbacks, and then we'll look into that. Theophilus, would you be able to share any other comments that are coming through on YouTube? All right, so while we gather people's thoughts, we'll move on to the next slide. Essentially, NVIDIA was born as a hardware company in 1993, but today NVIDIA operates from end to end when it comes to offering artificial intelligence. So we do the entire full stack. So everything from chips to systems to software and also template and frameworks. And we'll talk a little bit about why that is so important if you are a developer focusing on artificial intelligence or machine learning. But NVIDIA has customers in every single Fortune 500 company, and we have customers across different ranges of verticals, from automobile to consumer internet, robotics, medical, and retail and financial services. Thus, if you are a developer in any of these fields, being able to embed the latest and greatest artificial intelligence tools and frameworks will allow you to accelerate your career and your personal learning, which is why the Deep Learning Institute that we're about to go through today is super important. As I mentioned before, NVIDIA does the full range of stacks. So outside of the chips and the systems that we design, we have platform software, and then we also have application frameworks. And application frameworks, for lack of a better word, can also be looked at as an API. So that allows you to accelerate your learnings. And we've done almost all the work when it comes to templates and frameworks that you can just plug and play into different solutions that you're working on. So when it comes to Africa specifically, artificial intelligence is definitely growing. We've seen a 66% growth in AI activity across key countries, including Nigeria, and others include South Africa, Egypt, and Kenya. And today, there are over 2,400 organizations on the continent that specialize in artificial intelligence, and 65% of these organizations operate in healthcare, agritech, and local languages. Similar to the financial technology revolution that we saw on the continent between 2014 up until 2021, we believe that the next wave of innovation and funding is going to be in the artificial intelligence domain. So the faster that you have some sort of domain control around it, the better. An example being the Gates Foundation, for example, they are committing over $160 million for artificial intelligence use cases. The biggest tech acquisition on the continent was in fact not Paystack, nor was it Flutterwave, but it was an AI company called InstaDeep. For perspective's sake, Paystack was acquired for $200 million, and InstaDeep was acquired for $700 million. So more than 3x the Paystack acquisition. Thus, it showcases to us that AI is one of the biggest fields on the continent. Despite that, talent is still scarce. And that's why this is a great opportunity for you to showcase to startups, to founders, to organizations that you are skilled. And then some of the developer engagements that NVIDIA does varies. So we've had different developer engagements across the continent. Some of those developer engagements include workshops that we've done. So the workshop here was actually in Nigeria, in Yaba in 2021, that focused on healthcare. We've worked specifically with universities, and we've been part of hackathons, and we've done masterclasses. And again, the key focus of all of these initiatives is to get developers to be trained on the latest and greatest on artificial intelligence so that they can add more value to the organizations that they're attending, or so that they can have a competitive advantage to get into master's programs and to be employed. We've also done our deep learning certification drive in person, and today we're doing a similar one, but we're doing it online. As I mentioned before, NVIDIA has 4 key resources that we have for developers. And the first one is our developer program. And our developer program is our one-stop shop where you can get access to all things NVIDIA if you are a developer. You get access to solution development kits that we've developed. You get access to on-demand videos on different topics. And you also get access to forums and technical blogs. So if you just want to get started in AI, this is a great way to do it. And then we have our Inception program. And in our Inception program today, we have close to 20,000 startups across the world. And then we have our Deep Learning Institute, which is what we'll be focusing on today. Deep Learning Institute allows you to get some sort of hands-on experience, and it also allows you to take courses on your own pace. And sometimes as well, if you are a lecturer, it provides you with teaching kits. And the teaching kits has everything that you need to get started, including lecture slides, exam questions, presentations, and so forth. So we'll talk a little bit about the Deep Learning Institute and why it's so important. Today, we have over 80 courses in the Deep Learning Institute, and we've trained more than 500,000 developers. And these developers have been from universities, they've been developers at the likes of Google, Goldman Sachs, Facebook, and so forth. And we have trainings across different fields, such as generative AI and LLMs, data science, embedded computing, deep learning, autonomous machines, recommenders, and personalizations. So there's a little bit of everything for different personas. And we'll quickly skip over this as it's not so relevant for today's audience. But one thing that is relevant is one of our most active universities with Deep Learning Institute ambassadors, which are individuals that go on to get further training, is actually based in Tunisia, North Africa. So that showcases that the Deep Learning Institute allows you to almost catch up with the global standards, and it doesn't matter where you are. So now we'll talk about some success stories. What has happened to some of our personas after they've taken the Deep Learning Institutes? So we focus on Clinton Aduro. Clinton started taking our Deep Learning Institute in 2020 up until 2023. The first course that he took was on AI and Jetson Nano, then he did one on DeepStream, and then he did one on TensorFlow. And bear in mind, Clinton, for the most part, is a self-taught learner. He went to university for computer science, but he didn't do his master's. And after that, he more or less taught himself everything in a self-paced manner. Today, Clinton is at a startup called Amini that has raised more than $4 million, and Clinton is head of their data science. Earlier last month, Clinton joined one of NVIDIA's webinar where he spoke about how he leveraged the Deep Learning Institute to launch his career. And earlier in the year, Clinton was at NVIDIA's headquarters in San Francisco, showcasing how he's using NVIDIA's tools in order to do his work today. Then we have another gentleman from Algeria called Abdul Ghani. And as you can see in the middle, Abdul Ghani is now a Deep Learning Institute certified instructor. And to become a certified instructor, that's the step above completing a course. But by becoming a certified instructor, Abdul Ghani has gone into his universities and done workshops for the universities. Abdul Ghani has also become a consultant for different enterprises in the North African bloc and the Middle East. So these are just a few of different stories of how Deep Learning Institute is leveraged. So now we will pause and answer any questions that you guys might have before we jump into the actual course. And it would be great to know in the chat or on YouTube how many people have been able to sign up for the course, and then we can start it. And Theophilus, if you could help me with sharing the screen for the presentation, that would be great. So I'll just take a pause here, and then I'll just jump onto YouTube and answer any questions or track any feedback, and then make sure that everyone has signed up so that we can start the course. And while I do that as well, I will share a video that showcases a little bit more of what NVIDIA does. And please let me know if you can hear the sound from the video. Theophilus, could you please confirm if the sound could be heard?
I can't hear any sound yet, so
Okay. Let me see how I can. But can you see something?
It's dark here. I can't see anything. Okay, yeah, I can see something.
Okay, you can see something, but you can't hear the sound.
No.
Sorry, guys. We're more used to Teams, so just give me a second while I tinker with this a bit. Does anyone have any advice on how to get the sound to show on Zoom?
I'm gonna call the technical team and see if they can assist with that.
Okay. Please let me know if you can hear the sound.
I am a visionary.
Can you hear the sound?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we'll just go through this video quickly, just to give you a better understanding of NVIDIA and our role in artificial intelligence.
Illuminating galaxies to witness the birth of stars. And sharpening our understanding of extreme weather events. I am a helper, guiding the blind through a crowded world.
I was thinking about running to the store.
And giving voice to those who cannot speak.
Do not make me laugh.
I am a transformer, harnessing gravity to store renewable power. And paving the way towards unlimited clean energy for us all. I am a trainer, teaching robots to assist, to watch out for danger, and help save lives. I am a healer, providing a new generation of cures and new levels of patient care.
Doctor, that I am allergic to penicillin. Is it still okay to take the medications?
Definitely. These antibiotics don't contain penicillin, so it's perfectly safe for you to take them.
I am a navigator, generating virtual scenarios to to let us safely explore the real world and understand every decision. I even helped write the script. Breathe life into the words en muchos idiomas y escribí la música. I am AI, brought to life by NVIDIA, deep learning, and brilliant minds everywhere.
Alrighty, I hope everyone was able. Sorry, one second. Alrighty, I hope everyone was able to see the video and almost see what's possible when you start with deep learning, which is the fundamentals of all things artificial intelligence. So I'll hand it over to the 3MPP team so that they can start sharing the presentation, and then we'll just go through it. In the meantime, as I said, to get the most out of this course, please sign up for it so that you can follow as we go along. Thank you very much. So if you can go to the next slide, that would be fantastic. Awesome. So we've already spoken about this, right? Like what comes to people's mind when they think of artificial intelligence and NVIDIA. And as we mentioned, if you can go on to the next slide, that would be great. We do end-to-end software and hardware for artificial intelligence. And if we can go to the next 2 slides, that would be great. Wonderful. So the course that we will be going through today is our course on accelerated data science workflow with zero code changes. And on today's course, it's an online course, as I mentioned. And what we will be doing today is just introducing the high-level concepts that you need in order to finish the course. It's an hour, so it's a good way to start. And outside of the hour course, if you want to get more in depth with it, we also have courses that are 4 hours, and then we have courses up to 8 hours. And the level of the course is between technical to very, very beginner friendly. And the subject is around data science. And we chose data science because it's a field that's very, very popular in Nigeria. I'm aware that data science Nigeria is happening, I think this week, or it happened last week. And some of the requirements for this course is just to have some level of basic understanding when it comes to data processing and knowledge, and also being familiar with some Python libraries. And if you're not, don't worry, we'll be able to go over it today in the class. And the benefit of this course really is it allows you to understand the difference between CPUs and GPUs when it comes to data science tasks. And it allows you to learn a little bit more about a tool that we have called Rapids. And we'll also give you some use cases as to why going through a course like this is super important. So we'll just pause here, and then we'll talk a little bit about accelerated data science, what it is, how we do it, and why it's important. So essentially, when we focus on the what, by doing this course or by focusing on data science, as you know, it allows you to use your workflows and to expedite analysis that you have to do without having to change any code base. And then by implementing automation tools, you're able to streamline the processes that you're about to use and optimize the results, which makes it better for organizations or clients or studies that you're conducting, leveraging data science. And then, if an organization adopts frameworks that integrate with existing tools and libraries, it allows you to improve your efficiency again without having to change anything. And I think that's the most important thing, because if you're not changing anything or doing anything from scratch, you're able to do it faster, cheaper, and more efficiently. And when it comes to the why, it allows developers and data scientists to accelerate their workflows to achieve better results, often leading in saving more time. So when we think of data science, what is it? We would say that data science is an intersection of applied statistics, computer science, and domain expertise. So according to Drew Conway, who is a leading expert in the field, she sees data science as an application of computational methods of social and behavioral problems at a large scale. So we'll talk a little bit about different key terminologies that are good to bear in mind as you think of data science. So some of the key terminologies that's super important when we think about data science is data workflow. And what is data workflow? Data workflows are essentially the sequences of tasks involved in extracting insights from data sets that you might have. And that can include pre-processing, analysis, modeling, evaluation, and deployment. So essentially, it allows you to accelerate data science workflows, making these processes faster and more efficient. So think about trying to cook a meal from the start to the end. You need to lay out all your ingredients. And then after you lay out all your ingredients, you can cook it manually, or you can put it in a blender so that you can start your cooking process faster. By leveraging data science tools, it just allows you to have a blender instead of having to use a mortar and pestle and do it manually. Now, we'll talk a little bit about zero code change, and we've already spoken about it later, but what is it? Zero code changes essentially refers to the ability to speed up workflows without requiring modification to the existing code base. So it essentially involves implementing techniques or tools that enhance performance without necessitating developers or data scientists to rewrite or refactor their code. And as you know, repetitive tasks such as data processing, model training, and development then become streamlined. Another topic that we come across a lot in this course is model optimization. And that essentially allows you to lead to faster inference times and better predictive accuracy, which is what it's all about at the end of the day, right? Like after you do all of this work, will you be able to get more predictive methods that are accurate? And then we talk a little bit about parallelization. So with parallelization, it's essentially parallelizing data science workflows can dramatically reduce processing times and improve scalability. So if you have big data flows, or if you have big data sets that you need to read, you're able to scale it. And then finally, containerizations. So containers provide consistency across different environments and facilitates deployments of data science workflows without changing. So later on, we talk a little bit more about the different environments that you can use all of this work in. So if you could have the next slide, that would be fantastic. So now we talk a little bit about Rapids. So what is Rapids? Rapids is part of NVIDIA's CUDA-X, which is an open source suite of GPU accelerated data science AI libraries and APIs that are applicable with most open source data tools. So it allows you to accelerate performance by orders of magnitude at a scale across data pipelines. So what's super important to understand here, as I mentioned before, we have libraries and APIs that we've already developed. So again, it's a plug and play that developers need to tinker with instead of having to build everything from scratch. And because it's open source, all of the tools are already online. You can find them on GitHub or whatever repository that you use. And essentially, the purpose of Rapids is to allow you to accelerate the workflows that you're using. And later on, we'll talk a little bit about some case studies where Rapids is used. Now, though, we'll just zoom in on a use case of Rapids, for example. So Rapids, as you can see on the screen, allows you to take raw data, and then you can put that raw data into the system, which then allows you to train the data, model it, and also use machine learning and deep learning training techniques. And then from there, you're able to come out with a trained model that you can use based on your specification of the work that you're doing. And one of the benefits of Rapids is it's 150% faster than Pandas with CUDA. And it's also 48% faster with cuGraph. So again, it allows you to accelerate the work that you're doing exponentially. And if we can go on to the next 2 slides, that would be great. So earlier on, we spoke a little bit about the ecosystem that you can leverage Rapids in. Most of you might be aware of some of these libraries on the screen, but if not, happy to give you a quick overview of the most popular ones, which is Panda and TensorFlow and PyTorch. If you've heard of any of these, please feel free to let us know in the comment sections, and if not, let us know as well. So with Panda, essentially, the purpose of Panda is it's a Python library used for data manipulation and analysis. So it provides data structures and functions to effectively manipulate structured data, such as tables, rows, and columns. So an Excel sheet, for an example. And some of the key features of Pandas is it allows for easy loading, manipulation, and analysis of data from various sources like CVS files, Excel spreadsheets, SQL database, and etc. It provides with functionalities like data cleaning, transformation, filtering, aggregation, and visualization. And again, I'm sure a lot of you use Excel day in and out for your personal work and your professional work. So please let me know if you've used Panda as well. And some of the examples of using Panda is loading a CVS file, for example, into a Panda data frame, and then performing operations like filtering rows, calculating summary statistics, and creating plots to visualize the data distribution. So now we'll talk a little bit about TensorFlow and PyTorch. Again, let me know if you've heard of TensorFlow or PyTorch or if you already use it. So the purpose of TensorFlow and PyTorch is they're both open source deep learning frameworks used for building and training artificial neural networks. So they provide high-level APIs for constructing, training, and deploying machine learning models, especially deep learning ones. Some of the key features is it supports for automatic differentiation, enabling efficient computation of gradients for optimization algorithms. And they also offer a wide range of pre-built layers, activation functions, and so forth. Some of the key features of TensorFlow and PyTorch is it supports for automatic differentiations, enabling you to build frameworks and APIs around structured data, image text, time series, and so forth. So an example use case will be building and training neural networks for image classification tasks, for transformer models, NLP tasks, and text generation. So think your ChatGPT, think your Gemini, and so forth. And now we'll talk about some of the partner networks. So as I mentioned before, what makes these tools great is that you can use them with different networks such as Amazon, SageMaker, Anaconda, Snowflakes, and so forth. So now we'll talk about some of the use case tutorials. As I mentioned, it allows you to accelerate data analysis, processing data at scales, and time series forecasting. So with time series forecasting, for example, if you need to run any information on banking or finance and you want to be able to forecast revenue, this is a good way to do it, and so forth. So now if we can move on, we will end the course here. We'll talk a little bit more about the open source software and how it democratizes artificial intelligence, specifically data science. So by leveraging Rapids, as mentioned before, it allows you to prepare, model, and train your data much more efficiently. If we can go to slide 35, that would be great. And then we'll go through some of the use cases. So you can just kind of go through it. Actually, if you could just go back, that would be great, sir, please. 30 and one more back. Back again. Back again. Wonderful. Next one. Wonderful. So here, it kind of shows you how Rapids allows you to move much, much faster. As you can see on the screen, by moving from CPU to GPU when using data processing, you're almost incrementally increasing your speed of work by 70x. So that allows you to do a lot more work in a lot shorter space of time. And now we'll talk a little bit about the Rapids component. So we spoke about it before, but now you can kind of see it a little bit more in depth and like the different tools underneath it. And then we'll go on to an example of code line so you can get it into a more visual representation. So if you can go to the next slide, that would be great. So here, from the top line, you can see that we're doing code without Rapids. And on the bottom line, you can see how it is when you use GPU. So you can see that no code has been changed. The only thing that has been changed here is in plugging Rapids into the system. So if you can go to the next two slides, that would be great. So now we'll talk about some use cases from our own ecosystem. So FortiGuard, for example, is an organization that's based in Dubai. And one of the issues that they have is they're trying to understand urban heat, and they're trying to take their data and make it visual. In order to do that, they're using Rapids as an example. And then we'll go into another use case, and that use case is based in Kenya. And one of the challenges in Kenya is farmers have a hard time getting access to funding because there isn't any data around it. So what Amini does is their platform gathers and consolidates data, interprets that data, and then gives that data to banks so that banks can provide fundings to farmers, because the banks always want to get some sort of data. And then we have another one. So before, we're talking a little bit about forecasting. So here we have an example for retail. So Walmart is a big supermarket in North America. And Walmart has over 11,000 stores worldwide and over $500 billion in annual sales. So demand for forecasting became very challenging for them. So Walmart's data science team has to predict the demand for 500 million items every single week. So you can imagine that this workload can take days to finish. And typically, it would take them 3 days to finish this by using their internal model training. But now it takes them 12 hours. So from 3 days, they've been able to cut that workload down to 12 hours by leveraging Rapids to be able to do forecasting. So by performing forecasting with the open source Rapid data processing and machine learning libraries, Walmart has been able to help their engineering team run 100x faster and train 20x ML algorithm much faster, which results in faster delivery of products, real-time reactions of shopper trends, and inventory cost savings at scale. And if you can go to the next slide, that would be great. Now we have another slide from a bank, Capital One. And Capital One is one of the biggest banks in the US, and they are essentially on a mission to modernize its data and analyst platform. So they use cloud-native platforms that support a wide range of open source technologies, including Rapids, to scale computational GPU usage. So because of this, they're able to predict customer needs, which allows them to give better customer service. So for the sake of time, we will pause here and we will answer any questions that the audience might have or any feedback. And please let us know how you're getting on with logging into the course. So as I mentioned today, the objective of this call is to provide you with an overview of all of the key themes and subject areas in the course so that you can finish the course by yourself. It's an hour course. And it's quite introductory, so it will allow you to get some sort of insights into it. So I'll just quickly go over some of the questions or feedback that we've gotten from YouTube. And if you have any other questions, let us know. Also in YouTube, if you can let us know if you've been able to sign on to the course, that would be great. Any key takeaways as well will be fantastic. So what comes to your mind when you think of NVIDIA? Some of the answers were gaming, and that is correct. NVIDIA started as a gaming company in 1993, and the chips that we were using for gaming, we started using for deep learning around 2012. Another question again is around GPUs, chips and processors, and that is all correct. A platform where all new technologies are created, that is correct as well. As we mentioned before, NVIDIA is known as a chips company, but the reality is more so of a platform company, which allows you to do end-to-end development on all things artificial intelligence. And then it seems that some participants are having challenges signing up. So I will share my screen and walk through how to sign up essentially. So what we want to do is just make sure that everybody has the correct link. So I'm going to share the link one more time to the group. And then from there, I will share my screen and we'll go through sign up. And if everyone can see my screen, can I please get a thumbs up or a yes in the chat, and then we can go through it. Can everyone see my screen? Can I get any feedback? Can anyone unmute themselves and...
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Perfect, perfect, thank you. So, as mentioned, this is the accelerated data science workflow with zero code changes. In case you can't find the link, feel free to go on Google, for example. So if we just Googled accelerated data science workflows with, even if you didn't put the latter part, if you just type in accelerated data science workflows and you type in NVIDIA, DLI, the second thing that comes up is the course itself. As mentioned, the course is an hour and the course is completely free and it's around data science. So what you will do is you will click in Enroll Now. And by clicking in Enroll Now, it will ask you to either sign in or sign up. In this case, most of us will be signing up. And if you're signing up, you would essentially add your own email. Once you add your email to it, you continue. And then from continuing, you put in your name, personal information, you create a password, and then from there, you're into the account. So I'm just gonna stop my screen quickly, go through this process, and then showcase what the actual learning platform looks like. So if you just give me a second, we'll do that. And some of the benefits of going through this course is, as I mentioned, you'll get a certification of completion, and that you can add to your LinkedIn and so forth. So I'm just going to share my screen again. So after you sign up, essentially, you just kind of put in more information about who you are, university/organization that you are at. And then you can also put in some areas that you're interested in. Moving forward, if you have any information, webinars or competition around that area, we will then make sure that we share it with you. And then you just click accept to make sure that you're opted into our information and terms and conditions, and then you click submit. And then from there, you're in the course. So now we click continue learning. And as we click continue learning, you can now see the course preparing itself for launch. So here you have a PowerPoint presentation, and you essentially go through the PowerPoint presentation. And when you go through the PowerPoint presentation, at the very end of it, we have some questions. And then there's also like practicals that you can actually do. So moving from theory, you're also able to do the practicals. So we covered most of these concepts today. And then you click next. And when you go into the next, you're able to go into the lab environment. And the lab environment is where, as I mentioned, you're actually able to get hands-on practical experience. Typically, it takes about 30 seconds to a minute for it to load, as you can see here. So we click next. And as we click next, let's see here. We go back here. And as you can see, as it says, while you're waiting, you can do a quick minute read on the QDF and task QDF information as well, which is like a really good guideline on everything that you need to know. So if you have any questions that you will need answered while you're doing the actual hands-on work, you can find all the answers here, or you can get some sort of guideline, and it'll also help you with the code that you need to input and so forth. In the meantime, how's everyone doing in terms of signing up? Has everyone made it to this page? If so, let me know. If not, let me know as well. So I think Joy had a question with regards to product manager. This is more so focused on data science, but as I mentioned, at the Deep Learning Institute, we have different courses, and our developer programs also has different courses. For a product manager though, I will say that if you are managing a data science product, for example, that can be super helpful. But I'm also happy to just show you other courses while this loads. So at the Deep Learning Institute, you can actually browse our learning path on the page. And at our learning path, we share different courses that we have. So we have some for accelerated computing, computer vision, data science, deep learning, edge computing, Gen AI, NVIDIA Enterprise. If you are a product manager, I would say our general developer program then is probably a little bit more useful. And as I mentioned, if you just go onto Google and you type in developer programs, NVIDIA, here, you'll be able to have a lot more different support. So you can click industries, for example, and under the industries, and you can click which one is more useful for you. And you can just join the developer program at the top. By joining our developer program, as you can see, you get access to resources, tools and technologies, training, community, and technical resources. We have something called GTC, and let me see, NVIDIA. And under our GTC, we have content for product managers. So here you can watch content on demand. And what you can do here, for example, we can type in product manager. And for lack of a better word, our GTC content is almost like our internal Netflix. So as you can see here, you have Q&A with product team for the Jetson, product design and manufacturing, product configuration. So there's a lot of different information on product. I hope that answers your question, Joy. And then we have another question from Yes. Will this rapid library help PCs with small CPUs or GPUs to work faster? Luckily, the access to the GPUs on the cloud, so you will be able to work faster, Mohammed. And then for Uche Johnson, my question is it possible for someone with zero knowledge about AI to learn any of these courses effectively? Yes. However, it does take a lot of time and dedication in order to get there. As I mentioned, we have different courses. So as you can see here on data science, we have a 1-hour course, 2-hour course, 8-hour course, and 6-hour course. So we always encourage people to start with the 1-hour course, and then from there, they're able to build up. And if you learn better by being able to see and hear people talk about the work, you can always go into our NVIDIA On Demand and then type in, let's say, data science. And then you can go through different tutorials that we have. So if we type data science here, for example, there are over 3,000 content on data science alone. Some of the content is jumpstarting data science workflow on NVIDIA data science. And then you can also filter it into what you want it to be. Do you want it to be educational purposes? What level are you at? If you want to get started, you can just click here and then done. And then now it narrows it down to 51 content on getting started in data science. So here you can see low-code workflows for data generation pipelines and so forth. So that's the best way to go about it. And then you can see here as well, bridging the last mile gap with AI education. My recommendation would be to spend about 30 minutes to go through the content and almost create a learning curriculum for yourself. So the other question is, what is the benefit of the program at the end of the day? That varies. As I mentioned before, we have Clinton, who's now working at a data science startup. We have Abdul Ghani, who is now an ambassador and instructor in his community. There are different various pathways for different ways, but the most important thing is if you are interested in artificial intelligence and you want to stand out in the crowd or you want to get some sort of opportunities in the field, a lot of employers are now looking at certifications or demonstration. So you're also able to create some sort of portfolio for yourself. But when it comes to the benefits, you also have to be proactive to shape that for yourself. So what we can do is we can provide you with the content and the pathway, but to get to the finishing line, that's a combination of yourself and the industry that you're in. And we have another question here. Finding difficulty in editing the profile, I would suggest that you either restart the browser or you try a different browser. And then this program itself with 3MTT will be an ongoing monthly series where we'll be doing different topics. The next topic we'll focus on, for example, is generative AI, but we're also willing to take feedback from the audience on what they find the most useful. And then the 3MTT team and NVIDIA can also devise a program that's more suitable. Do we have any other questions? Okay, perfect. So the notebook has, if anyone is also familiar with Jupyter Lab, let me know, but that's essentially where we're going to be doing the coursework or the practical for the course. So I'll quickly show you what it looks like. So after you start the course here and you click launch, it will open a new slide that will bring you here to the notebook. And in the notebook itself is where you will do all the coursework. So here, for example, you can see it has introductional pieces of work. It allows you to work with data. You just have to upload it, and then you'll be able to work with terminals and so forth. And this is the most important part of the course because it gives you the hands-on experiences that most universities unfortunately don't provide on the continent. And it's important to also realize that these courses, their value are between $30 and $90, but because of our collaboration with 3MTT, we've made all these resources complimentary. Has anyone been able to get to this page? If Emmanuel, could you please give me some feedback from the audience? If anyone from the audience has been able to get to this page, feel free to unmute yourself and share as well in case I miss anything. And that's completely okay, Emmanuel. So we'll quickly wrap up. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to share it with the 3MTT team. And then I can respond to them so that they can share it with everyone. But thank you once again for joining today's call. We'll share some additional materials on why it's important to do deep learning and how it can help you advance your career in artificial intelligence. Have a fantastic evening and take care. And for the 3MTT team, if you could stay online, that would be great just for a quick debrief.